yesterday, getting some AP Top 25 votes. A couple of people selected the UTSA. What was your reaction to that, and did you talk about it with the team?
Yeah, we did. Obviously, it's anytime you get mentioned up there, it's fun stuff. We talked about this back in the summer about social distancing, but also along with COVID. Is this going to be an opportunity, or is this going to be adversity? Which one is this going to be for us? And we challenge each other that most schools would not be able to pull this off. But if we could, the more of them that didn't play, the more attention we got, the better chance we got to put our brand, our 2-1-0, triangle toughness. If we know we were going to get 3 nationally televised games in a row, no, we didn't know that. But we put ourselves in a position where people could see us. The ESPN, CBS. So I'm really happy for my kids. When the season was started, we were ranked 75 out of 76, and I'm not even sure if UMass is even playing anymore. So I guess that would make us the worst team in the country. So it's a lot better than what we were for sure.
Is that a don't eat the cheese situation with the guys, or how do you tell them about responding to that?
Well, it's a great point. It's a great question. We just, at the end of the day, 2-0, 0-2, 1-1. We don't talk about that much at all in our program. But we want to be the very best we can be today. We want to have the best practice we can be today. And whether we've beaten Texas State or not, or whether we've beaten Stephen F. Austin or not, it doesn't define who we are as people. We got to go out there and get better as a football team. Y'all watch the same game I did, and we've got plenty to work on. And we're better today than we were yesterday. That's what matters.
We saw Brendan Brady and Adrian Taylor go down in the game Saturday. Do you have any update on those guys?
We're waiting on MRI results on both of them, and we should know a little bit more today.
Hey, Jeff, wanted to ask you about some of the plays in the fourth quarter, a couple of key plays down the stretch. What does that say about your team to be able to kind of make those plays that were the difference in the game?
There was a nice little just streak there. One, our energy on the sideline got a lot better. We just gave them a new nickname. We're calling them the Pilla, P-I-L-L-A, Killas, K-I-L-L-A-S. Those are players on our team that uphold our culture pillars, and they bring a lot of juice on the sideline, and they had us going in the fourth quarter. So it started with Sincere's great run, had a great block by Josh Otis on that play. Then you had Frank on the quarterback draw, had a great block by BJ on that play, and then you had a great punt, by Lucas in that quarter, covered that down. You had Clarence Hicks with a strip, and Jamel Liggins with a recovered fumble. Those are all huge plays in the fourth quarter. Now, what I challenged them on was it's kind of like when you go to a track meet and you watch a guy run the mile, and he's in last place, and then that last 100 yards, he just sprints it, and everybody claps and goes crazy. Oh, I've never really felt you should do that. Because if you guys had been running that hard the whole time, he wouldn't be that far behind. Well, so obviously we had a little juice left in our tank, or we wouldn't have been able to surge like that, and that's not perfect effort. Perfect effort is the first play, is as important as the last play. But obviously, JJ, I am proud that my kids rallied in the fourth quarter and won the ball game.
Can you tell us about being able to run out the clock the last 6 minutes with Lowell there? What does that mean to the offense? And just can you go over what that package is for Lowell?
Well, it's one of the things that's kind of gotten overlooked in this game. You remember how bad our 4-minute offense was against Texas State. We were at 2nd and 5, and we couldn't close it out. So we really worked hard at it this week. We call it the low zone. Obviously, it'll be a short yardage package. The low zone area play for us. And, Miles Benning comes in the game and does a great job blocking on that. And, Low, those 6 carries. Everybody in the building knows what's going to happen right there. He just, willed it through. And I can promise you, Tyrone Nix, that defense was loaded. Watch that last 6 minutes take off the clock and the defense be on the sideline.
Hey, Greg, back to you.
Jeff, what did you make of Jamel Liggins start getting the opportunity at inside linebacker as a true freshman this week?
It just shows the kind of kid he is, the program he came from. he wasn't perfect, but he gave perfect effort. He'll get better every week. He just shows up. He's been that way since the day he got here. The older guys knew him immediately. He just belongs because he prepares so hard, he works so hard, he brings his energy level every day. Came from great people, a great program. The sky's the limit for Jamal.
After the game, I asked you about Frank Harris's carry total and the hits he was taking, and you said it seemed like he probably wasn't taking that many direct hits. When you looked back at it, were you happy with how he managed those situations?
He was fantastic. It was just the one, where he got just destroyed in the pocket on a penalty. I wish they would just blow the whistle and call the whole thing dead, honestly. But it is what it is. And if he can take that lick, I told him that should give him tremendous confidence moving forward for the rest of the year.
Have you guys worked with him on, getting down when contact is coming, taking care of himself in that way? Does that come naturally to him, or what's the approach in that regard?
No, it's not real natural for Frank. That's not what Frank wants to do. Frank does not want to run out of bounds. Frank does not want to go down. That's Coach Traylor's orders, and he's listening to me, thank goodness. He does not want to do that, trust me.
Okay, Hector, you're up.
Coach, good morning.
Morning, Hector.
Hey, you were talking with Greg, Coach, about with the top 25 votes comes that balance, of obviously getting where you guys want to get, but at the same time, a lot more work to do. Is it a pretty good sign, Coach, for a first year coach and a program that, relatively speaking, is still pretty young, that your first couple of weeks out, you're talking about not having to get too high on yourselves, after the Texas State win, now after receiving a couple of top 25 wins. Is that a pretty good situation to be in?
We discuss it all the time. It's really one of those kind of situations where it's never as good as you think, Hector, and it's never as bad either. We were 1-1 or 0-2. We wouldn't have got those votes. We're still the same guys. We're still the same coaches, still the same players. But at the same time, Hector, these kids have been through a lot. And for 24 hours, it's okay to celebrate, talk, and have fun with your teammates. It's okay for 24 hours. Can you eliminate that stuff before today's practice so we can go have a great practice? What practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. And how we prepare this week will determine how we play Friday. So as long as we don't let those things get us distracted, those are all good things. Those are things for Dr. Campos and President Amy and our marketing department and, our social media for recruiting and to get great. President Amy says it all the time. We're the front porch of the university. So the more of that is the better for the university and the better for San Antonio. So we want to help in that regard always.
With Middle Tennessee up next, Coach, and on our side of things, and for you too, the game being announced so late, so close to when the game time actually is. At the end of the day, does it really make that much of a difference? Because up until now, you weren't preparing for Middle Tennessee anyway, or am I totally wrong in that there is a setback being maybe not the best term to use, but it could be a better situation in that normally who your opponents are years and months in advance.
It's your all-field guys that suffer. It's not really me. It's your analysts and your QCs that are working 1 week ahead that have already put in 100 hours on Memphis, and now we're not using it, right? The Middle Tennessee is going through the same thing. So there's no advantage to us or disadvantage. Just a lot of off-field guys might look at it as wasted time, Hector.
And Coach, this could easily be a better question for Dr. Campos. Any update on whether that Middle Tennessee game will count as a conference game?
No, I got asked that this morning on the radio, and I didn't really have the answer for that. So that'll be a Dr. Campos question. She deserves a lot of credit. She worked her tail off to get us that game, and she was in great communication with me the entire time, let me know what's going on. So tip of the hat to her for pulling all this off.
Thank you, Coach.
Just to follow up on that, as soon as we find out, we'll let everybody know. JJ, you're up next.
Jeff, when did you find out that the Memphis game was being canceled?
Officially, it was Friday, I think around in the afternoon, Friday. I think I could be off on my days, JJ, but I think that's what she came in there and told me. We had been in communication with them, and they thought they were going to be able to do it, and they just couldn't pull it off.
Wanted to ask you a follow-up about the atmosphere in the Alamo Dome on Saturday. Have you guys considered, or is it even a possibility to pipe in noise?
That'd be another Dr. Compost question. It's a great idea, JJ. It's one that we have talked about as a staff. But once again, it's one of those things for me, JJ. We got to control the controllable. So we came up with pillow killers, and we're going to bring our own juice on that sideline. And if Dr. Compost of the Alamo Dome can create some more noise for us, our band did a great job. They were wonderful during the game. Hats off to them. But we need that. And it made a difference in the fourth quarter. But we picked it up in the fourth because of my pillow killers on the sideline. I had that juice.
Okay, Greg, last questions for Coach.
Jeff, what was it like putting Saturday's game to bed and then getting ready for a new week of practice with really just one day to do that instead of two?
Yeah, just not much sleep, honestly. And I sleep good during the week. I don't sleep good after the game. The adrenaline rush that runs through me. My son that was there, my middle child, Jake, is a great public speaker. So he got all over me for you guys. He was in the media room with y'all Saturday. So he has really coached me up on picking my shoulders up and smiling more after a win. I won't tell you the exact term he used for my face during that interview, but I got to be better, bring more energy after the game. Those games wear me out, and the adrenaline that goes through me, I just don't sleep real well for that next day. So it's hard as coaches. That's not just me. That's most coaches. That we only had probably 8 hours to get ready for this morning's practice, and usually my guys get that 8 hours plus all day today to get ready for tomorrow's practice. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Greg? So lack of sleep and having to squash up a game plan real fast. Because you want to give your guys a great plan. You don't want to waste reps. We're so young as a staff together and with our players. We don't want to waste reps this morning on plays we're not going to actually use Friday. So we had to be spot on this morning in our reps. And we had a great practice. I told my staff it's amazing what winning and cool weather can do for young men.
So the players responded well to being back in practice on a Monday? I know that's a little bit different.
They were awesome. I was worried about it. They were awesome. I'm so proud of my leadership council. Those guys did a great job. Sheldon Jones had a great message before practice, and our kids really won the day today. We weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we gave perfect effort.